E from marketwizards.com and eminingwizard.com just after 10 o'clock. Have not had a lot of movement from 10 o'clock news. Reminding traders use risk capital you can afford to lose when you're playing this game. It is the 16th of August, 2019. All right, let's take a look at the predictive chart. Kyle had asked about that in response to Zeke's post that this has been a pretty good chart. Basically, in this system, it takes the previous range and spits it out for the next day. And normally, if we're still inside the previous day's setup, I'll leave it. But it so happens this still is the current range. That's what the system was predicting. And the back end resistance on a chart like this is here, just like the back end support was here yesterday. And that's why I said 28.12.5, big pivot, that's our support. And then over here, obviously yesterday I said, you know, that 25 area, let's think about 25 to 22 support. And I'm reading this. I'm just saying, okay, so this 12 and a quarter here, 22 and a quarter now. This has got to be our, you know, important support level. And that turned out to be true. And we bounced back and we got back into the middle. Remember that 51.5? So that's our flip zone right there. And then the next target up, 61s. And I'm saying overnight it's starting to grow. And I'm going to bed and I'm saying, you know, that's when I made that post. It wants to get to that 72 area, the 75, and before dawn, probably even at 81. So that's what I was thinking. And I was thinking from 25 to 75, 50-point move. That's sort of, you know, I just guesstimated that. So currently, this is our resistance box between 72, 71 and a quarter to the 80, 81. That's our resistance box on this. So this is a very helpful chart for the next day. And then if we apply the same ideas on the weekly, then we also can get the same effect for the weekly range. So on this chart, the weekly range suggests that the middle pivot, we've rejected this box so far, got into it, but can't do much above it yet. And this is our support box. So in looking at this chart, the resistance is back here at 49 and a quarter. We got the 44s, right? 5 points away, and we got the big sell. You got to break the 90. We did. And then we come down, you got to take out the 71, we did. You got to take out 51, we did. You got to take out 32. Remember I said paid for sure by 32. So I'm working off of this look. And then down in here, 12.5 support. So from this line, using that same idea of where is the flipper, this is your flipper trying to get long side. And if we're under it, then this is the flipper trying to come and get this step by step. So that's how that works. And that's part of our system where you can do these charts. It's a manual setting. So I just plug in the setting that I have on my spreadsheet, and there it is. And it really has helped to automate this, as I've done with several, like the balance of power and whatever. So these values are thrown into a formula. Simple as that. And it takes them off the first page of the trader's GPS and it throws it into the formula, and then that formula kicks it back to this page and tells me right where for the daily where this wants to be. Let me put the daily back on so it jives with those numbers. No, that was the daily. So right here, you can see the 51.5. And I just plug in that number, and then it puts the spread up and down based on the interval size. And then it tells me, and normally this is your resistance level, and these are your extremes. And if we take out the extreme, then you go to the up column and say, okay, so this 51 becomes your support, and then you're looking up here. So it already has a program for you to go up or down in one of these gigantic type days. So we get those 100-point days or whatever, I can still read this. I'm still going to be able to go pick it. And if not, then I'm just going to go double the base size, and for sure it'll catch it. Because there are some days, maybe, once every 10 years, you get those crash days or whatever. And then nothing is going to work other than knowing the base ideas. I'm going to do in the fall, I'm going to do some sessions on this stuff for those who are interested, because I really believe if I'm trying to help traders become independent, then the way to do that is to give you the tools. You have to understand the tools I'm using. Otherwise, you're still just dependent on, my interpretation and once you start to use this, you'll get a feel for it. And you say, okay, I get it. I get it. And this is what we mean by step by step. So this is the football field, the hash marks on the football field. Simple as that. And this is the end zone. And this is the end zone down here. And this is midfield right there. And then the price structure is the overlay, moving the chains up and down the fields. That's the best analogy I can give for it. Still trying to argue about that 71.75. Remember that yesterday's high. Very tedious first hour. This is typically the exciting bar. This bar excites the shorts. Jump in at the lows and then get squeezed back. Anyways, I hope that helps you, Kyle, and anybody else who, when you play this back, I'll post this video, obviously, and you can review that. But it works, and you can see it. It won't be 100% accurate, but once you understand how this thing works, you get a feel for what needs to hold and what doesn't. So right now, we already know that 81 is a big idea. We already know the 61 is a big idea, and obviously the 71 in between it. You're welcome, Kyle.